Pounding the meat, we are live, baby. I am Vinny Vegas. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have a special guest, one of my favorite guests tonight, Mr. Mike Kunda. Philly's #1 Rocky impersonator is here. He is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Stallone, Rocky, anything involving that. He knows his stuff, man. He really does. So I'm glad to have him. I can't wait to have this guest on, man. A good buddy of mine. I always learn something new when I talk to this guy. Always. Man, I love Rocky. What up, Joey V? How you doing, buddy? I love Rocky. But he loves him more, trust me. He knows way more than I do. One more thing, too. You know that winged eagle I've been waiting for from Classic Shields? It's shipped. It's shipped. Yes. So I think I'll have an unboxing live for you guys. Hopefully Monday, Tuesday, around there. I will not take a peek. I'm going to unbox it live here on the show. You will see my real reaction in real time. I've been waiting a year for this thing. A year. I ordered it March of last year, bro. Whew. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to bring on the main man of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, Philly's #1 Rocky impersonator, Mr. Mike Kunda.
Albuquerque.
Woo-wee! There he is! Mike!
Yo, how's everybody in the clubhouse today, huh?
How you doing, man? How you been, bro?
It's been an interesting. Last time I was here was about 14 years ago, right?
Yeah, around there.
Around there, yeah.
Feels like forever.
COVID has made everything seem like 12,000 years plus.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been pretty brutal, but it's been good in a way that I've gotten involved in a lot of projects that has stretched, I think, my capabilities of a human than I ever thought possible. So I'm having a lot of fun. The tours are starting to pick up again. It's a little.
Oh, good. I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the tours are picking up again. You know, we had gone pre-COVID. We had gone from about 35, 40 tours a month to like 0. And so, yeah, back starting in about June, we started picking up a little bit. We started doing 4 or 5 tours a month. And I would say right now I'm probably back to about 10 a month. And coming up,
all right.
It's something. And then, of course, coming up around July, I'm back. It looks like I'm back to about 20 a month. So I'm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, starting to make it. So,
well, that's good. I mean, your background's different from last time.
Yeah. Before I was on the other side of the desk. Now I'm in the middle of the room. I've got a mic. I've got headsets. Okay. I've got like a little equalizer here. So
you sound crystal clear for some reason.
Good.
And I think I know why. What's this?
Oh,
what has happened?
God. Oh my God. From pretender to contender.
That's a cool title. I like that.
You know,
tell me about this, Mike. What are you doing?
So there you go. You've got myself dressed up in my Rocky finest, and you've got international man of mystery and world famous comedian Joe Matarese.
Okay.
Joe he has done a few podcasts. He's been pretty successful. He had one called Fixing Joe, where people would call in with suggestions to fix him because he's like mentally irregular.
Okay.
And I never wanted to do a podcast because I don't know. I just think there's so many out there. What am I going to say that's going to be any different or any better? But Joe convinced me that, maybe my Rocky knowledge might be of perseverance to some people. So we thought, okay, we came up with this title, From Pretender to Contender. And
Right.
what this show is about is, in the beginning, when you're nobody, you're nothing, you got a dream and you don't know how to make it come true. You don't even know how to start following it, but you figure it out. You start. So it becomes a journey. You're a pretender, and then you're a contender for what it is you want. Maybe it's a manager of a retail environment. Maybe you want to be Fortune 500. Maybe you just want to run your own business. Whatever it is, what is your story? What is it? It doesn't have to be Rocky related per se. It just has to be starting at the beginning where you're nothing and then working your way. And maybe you're not going to be the boss. It's not about that. It's about finding your place in this world, finding your purpose.
Right.
That's what it's all about.
Kind of like your film, The Pretender, right? It's kind of like that storyline there.
It is. And at first I resisted going with From Pretender to Contender because I didn't want it to be based on the Pretender that Jim Toscano had done about me. It wasn't that, but the concept was in my mind. I could not shake that. So then I started thinking from Pretender, from Pretender to Contender. Okay, it rhymes. It's kind of a cool name. If we can keep that motif, we got something.
Right. And you said your buddy here, Joe Matarese, you said he did a stand-up, right?
He did. Joe's got a bunch of stand-ups on specials on like Amazon Prime. He's got one in particular, and it's called The Poster's Wrong, which there it is. Look at that. And I love this because he filmed it in Philly. He's from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, right outside of Philly. He's a Philly fanatic about all things Philly. He loves Rocky, and he's funny as hell. So this special, it literally captures the essence of Rocky. So if you're seeing it, go to Amazon and check it out. It's great.
Check this out.
You'll love it.
It kind of takes off from the Rocky film where he got the shorts wrong and the posters wrong. That's what Rocky says in the film.
Exactly.
There it is. And they spell Joey's name wrong on the poster here. It's perfect.
It's perfect. It's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. And Joe's one of those guys. I tell him, Joe and I have had probably 12,000 conversations. There's very few people I let in to my inner sanctum of my brain because I just don't trust people. It's just my nature. And so Joe's one of those guys that got in. And so we've had many, many conversations. And what I learned about Joe is that he's a very evolved human. In the comedic world, they're like doggy dog. And Joe is not that guy. He can be when called upon. He can summon that power, but that's not who he is as a human. He's a dad, he's a husband, he's just a great guy. He really is. And so
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's the main reason why I considered doing this podcast with, which we've got like 9 people that follow us, so that's great. So if we can get anybody else, that's awesome.
Anybody that's watching, check this out. Where can they check this out? Is this on all platforms?
It is. But it's every Tuesday nights at 7:00 on YouTube. You can go to my link in my bios and any of my social medias. It's all right there.
Great, perfect.
Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll get some more people listening to that because it's interesting stuff.
Yeah,
now,
it's fun.
I see something behind you that I was going to talk to you about because now I purposely didn't do any research on this book. This huge yellow book you got behind you. The Rocky, what's the title of it? What's it say?
All right, it's Sylvester Stallone Rocky, the complete films by Taschen. Taschen, yeah, I believe they're a German group, which they had been working on this book for quite some time. Inside are some of the rarest, and take my word for it. I've been collecting Rocky memorabilia for 40 plus years.
Okay.
40 years. And that's everything I'm about is collecting. So I know when something's rare and when it isn't. And this thing has everything rare. Not to mention there's rare interviews that are very difficult to come by that's in this. Now, that's one thing. All right. You get two other things. Now, if you put that picture back up, you'll see two things. There you go. One is that red notebook. That red notebook is an identical facsimile of the red notebook Sylvester Stallone bought at a Rite Aid for 99 cents with a big pen. He wrote 88 pages of Rocky. That is not the book you get, but you get a replica of that, which is identical. I've seen the original that Sly has at his house, and you can't tell the difference. Wow. And in it is pages of Rocky, the original source material. And in it, Rocky is very, very cynical. It's a very nasty, dirty, ugly book. There's a lot of swearing in it. Paulie references his sister by the cruelest of terms that you would reference a woman by. Okay. And so that all went through an evolution in, I don't know, 6-7 months. There was no Paulie in the original Rocky. I mean, Adrian had a brother, but he wasn't really the Paulie we've come to know.
He wasn't like a main character?
Right. It was more her mother. And they were they were Jewish at the time. They were not Italians. And Klein was their last name. And so Stallone at some point said, maybe I better make them Italian. And he did. And then during the first filming of Rocky, he was talking with Talia Shire. And Talia says, Sly, there's no Adrian and Paulie. They don't have a last name. What's the last name? And he goes, I don't know. I was figuring that out. Do you have any suggestions? And she goes, well, my mother's last name is Panino. And he goes, great, we love it. That's Adrian and Paulie's last name. That's it. Panino. That's it. There you go. So it really talks a great deal about a lot of the original script. Gazzo was Rocky's brother originally. The mother had obviously Adrian's mother had been relieved of her duties, and she was morphed into being Paulie. Yeah. And the last thing you get with that is that picture. That's a picture Stallone painted of Rocky in his mind quite early on. It was probably 1974, 75 when this idea was rolling around in his head. You see, the idea of the original Rocky was redemption. Okay, so he first thought it was be a mob guy. Then he thought it was going to be a cowboy. Then he thought it would be an actor. And he thought, no, none of those things are going to work. Then he goes to see Chuck Wepner fight Muhammad Ali. And Chuck goes 15 rounds. He basically lasts the entire fight, but he was a nobody. And he was a leg breaker for the Jersey Mob. And Sly, being a boxing aficionado, was up on all this information. He goes, okay, what if we could take a nobody who wasn't supposed to go past the 5th round, and then he knocks the champion down? Chuck knocked Ali down in the 9th round. So he said, okay, what if I could formulate that into this thought I have of redemption? And so it all just started to percolate. And sooner or later, he comes up with Rocky. And he put Chuck's story in there. He put Rocky Marciano. He put a little bit of Joe Louis. He put a little bit of Joe Frazier in there. Joe Frazier used to pound raw beef. I mean,
okay,
that's a real thing.
That's where he got it. That's where he got it from. Okay.
Oh yeah. That's a real thing. And Chuck Wepner used to run steps at the Henry Hudson Park in Jersey, in Bayonne. But the steps came from, I believe, Garrett Brown. It was a combination between Sly, Garrett Brown, and John G. Avildsen when looking for locations. That's a whole other story.
So this book is a collector's and a fan's dream. Now, this thing is $1,000.
And it weighs 1,000 pounds.
Oh, my. Here's a pic. Look how big this thing is.
Seriously. Schwarzenegger is like 7'5".
Look at that.
So that book is about 4 feet tall. It's insane. And it's so thick. It's massive. There you go. Sly's 5'10". There you go. Do the math.
Man,
it's massive. The source material in here, there are some pictures that I'd say fans had seen if they are collectors. they've probably come across a few of these pictures.
Yeah.
I would say 80% of the pictures are completely brand new, never seen before.
Wow. So it's mostly fresh content.
Yeah,
Okay.
it really is. And $1,000 is a lot. Let's face it. That's a lot of money for a book. The only reason I slipped it by my wife is because I was able to write it off for tax purposes for my job.
So it worked out. Yeah.
It worked out.
Study material for you. Study material.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly right. And that's how I listed it on my taxes, which is completely true. But my life, I can tell you, as a serious Rocky fan, if I didn't have this book, my life would be miserable, because it would all be about trying to figure out how to attain it.
Wow. And now, did he sign every single one, or are there different versions of this book?
As far as I know, there are 1,976 versions, because 1976.
The year it came out.
Okay. Now, did they make 2,000 books and he signed them? I don't know. I know he signed at least 1,976 versions. Now, they're really quick. They're two big S's with a line. All right. I mean, that's a lot of books to sign, but
absolutely,
he did do it. So please go and get it. You're going to love the script. You're going to love the red notebook. You're going to love the painting that Sylvester Stallone did many years ago. And you got to remember, Rocky, even though he wrote it about himself, that picture that you put up, that slide painted, it isn't so much of himself as it is the mental image in his mind of a fighter well past his prime, who's so just beaten and abused. And the slowness, I think the slowness of the character was greater than what we got. Because what we got, you know yourself, Vinny, when people do a Rocky impression, how you doing?
We'll see some of them soon.
Okay. That's your average guy. But when Rocky, when you, that's not right. Maybe that's somewhat close to Rocky 5. But in the original Rocky, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
See ya.
He's got a quicker rhythm.
He's got a pep to his step on that one.
Yeah. Now, Rocky's nobody to turn a page. Okay. He's not a rocket scientist, but he's not the, how you doing? That's the mistake everybody makes when they do impressions.
Now, here's the thing with this book. Is it still available?
Yes.
To your knowledge, you can still buy it retail.
Okay, but here's the thing. When I bought it 2 years ago, it was like, I don't know, $8.99 in tax or something. Now it's $1,600. And that's the thing with this book. It's leather bound. It's everything about it is the highest end quality you could imagine from Taschen. It's incredible. And the thing that's amazing about this, all of these pictures and the interviews, it all comes from a vault. It all comes from the MGM vault. And MGM could have put this book out, but they didn't, because they don't have the respect for the character of Rocky. There's a lot of side stories. Unfortunately, I can't go into them, but there's a lot I know about the MGM people. They just don't care about Rocky.
Interesting.
It's the weirdest damn thing. It really, really is. And it breaks my heart, because he's their biggest star. And I just don't understand why they just won't figure it out. But, who knows? Let's hope for the 50th they get their act together and we get
They better.
They better.
They better. Now, you've made some good use of your time here during the pandemic, I noticed. I've been seeing these little bits that you post on your social media. All right, these little from the films. You act out all the characters.
I try.
Right? I'm going to play one, and they make me laugh because they're so raw, right? Yeah. But they're on point at the same time. So here's one. I got the Spider Rico one. This is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Check this out. Check this out, guys.
Hey, you really got lucky tonight. Spider, you got loser share. $40 less, $15 locker and corner, $5 shower and towel, 7% tax, comes to $17.20. You fought a good fight, Spider. Barrel ball, you got winner's share. $65 less $15 locker and corner, $5 shower and towel, 7% tax, comes to $40.55.
When do I fight again?
Maybe 2 weeks. Give me a call. The doctor should be in about 20 minutes.
You were good with that. Was that a promoter? Is that who it was?
I love that promoter. And when you go back and you watch the original Rocky, look at the promoter's chest pocket. He's got like 19 pens stuck in his pocket. I love that. I was going around the house finding a suit jacket. And I just put it in there.
He's unorganized. He got this little piece of paper. He just jotting numbers down. Yeah, it's good.
I love it. I love it. That was in the beginning of the pandemic. When I did that one, okay, so that was more like the middle of the pandemic. So when I went into the pandemic in March last year, about a year ago this time, I was about 198 pounds. Right, I was about 8 pounds over my ideal weight.
Okay.
So in that scene, I was about 221.
you got COVID chubby.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Are you serious? I looked at myself and I said, "Oh my God, you're like the Hindenburg, Mike. What happened to you?" And my wife said, "Well, let's see. We have pizza and pasta 14 nights a week." She goes, "Well, what do you think is going to happen to you?" So I looked at it and said, "Okay, so now I'm down about 20 pounds from that." And
you're looking good, man. You're looking fine.
I'm getting there. I'm getting back to normal. I've got about another 10 I'd like to go.
You're in Rocky 2 form right now. You look good. You look good. You look good.
I'll take it.
So I said you did a great job on these bits, but I would love you to rate a couple of impersonators yourself. All right, being the ultimate Rocky impersonator. Now let's do a rating system. All right, we can do from bum to Rocky.
Okay.
Or I even thought about this when we were talking about from pretender to contender. So we can say pretender or contender based on their job here.
Yeah.
Here's the first one.
All right.
I think it's from 2013 or 14. It's at a Comic-Con called WonderCon.
Oh, okay.
All right. And this guy is dressed as Stallone from Rocky 4.
Beautiful.
All right. And they caught a clip of his impersonation. Check it out.
I've seen a lot of people changing from the way they felt when I came in here to the way they felt when I left. And you hated me, and I didn't think I liked you much, none neither. But then I see people changing, and I realize if I could change, then you could change. Everyone could change.
All right.
So you're not gonna believe it, but I know that guy.
Then get the hell out of here. You do?
Yeah, of course I do.
I should have figured. You know the guy. All right.
All right. So I'm not going to go negative because I will never go negative on people because I love their passion. But here's what I love about this. I'm going to rate this guy chasing the chicken.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to give him. He's chasing the chicken. He's getting there. So,
okay.
So obviously he doesn't know anything about fitness. He's somewhat overweight. And
absolutely.
He doesn't have the chiseledness. Okay.
He did not get the body right for Rocky 4. All right.
No. I'm a little disappointed at that.
Me too. That's the first thing I thought.
So clearly this man is in peak physical form. His body looks fantastic. I love the way he's got the eyes. That works. He's got the mouthpiece, the gloves, and everything. If I could give him one build, it would be to take it more seriously. He didn't change his voice. He didn't curl his lip. If I can change.
He just sounded tired.
You could change.
Oh, wait a second. Excuse me. This is my mother.
Your mom.
She just asked me if I want the book.
Well, you say yes.
She said, Mom. Dad will buy it. What?
Do it.
Do it! Hey, come on, yeah! Oh, I'm about to start crying. I'll talk to them after. I love you both so much. Thank you.
Are
All
you
right, go back.
kidding me?
Go back to the advice that this guy desperately needs.
All right, so this is what I give this guy. So this guy, he's kind of saying it, but he's not believing he's Rocky.
Right.
If he got into it, if he was just like, if I
just
could
fought.
change,
Yeah, he just fought.
and you could change, everybody could change. if he believes a little more, he's got it.
Yeah.
Maybe mess his hair a little bit more, but
Yeah.
he's there. He's in the ballpark.
I'm gonna rate 2. All right, that way you're not in such a tough spot.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You're right, Ethan. She is the best mom ever, for real. All right, I'm gonna go as far as physical shape and body. I'm gonna go with contender Rocky. But as far as the impression, I'm gonna go with bum. I'm sorry. I got it.
Ouch.
Lousy
Ouch.
bum.
Whoa.
That's the Mickey version.
Yeah.
With spitting out
bum.
what was it? Spitting out the soup.
Yeah, the soup. He throws
That
it.
one. But I thought that was pretty funny.
I got you.
But you are known for your impressions of Rocky.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. I don't look like Rocky. I don't sound like Rocky, but I have.
You do. You look like Rocky. Yeah, you do.
No. Yeah. See, here's where you fall into the trap.
All right.
I have the dark, thicker hair. I've got the brown eyes and the longer face. Okay. I don't have the nose. I don't have the crooked mouth. I have to force that. I have to lower my voice with the hat and the leather coat on. The props, it works, okay? But what I've done, what I do have better than anyone I've ever seen, and I will give myself this kudos. I have the actions of Rocky, the little tiny things, the way he walks, the shuffle, the sniffling of the nose. A lot of guys don't do that. The shuffling of they don't do it just right. So those are the things I've incorporated along with my props. It all kind of plays. And when you're in Philadelphia and you're kind of in the moment, it works. I can fool people. I can fool them. But like this, I mean, nobody's going to look at me and say, okay, at best I get Tony Danza.
Austin says this man looks like Rocky. Don't let him fool you. When we were on the tour, there were multiple people asking if it was really Sly. So you're in the zone. You know what I noticed you do too, that he does all the time? He kind of puts his head to the side and like scratches the side of his face. I noticed you do that just in general. You're kind of half Rocky.
I do. Because you know what it is? People, we just talked about this on our podcast from Pretender to Contender, where my co-host asked me, are you aware of what you do, that you put it on, or does it just happen and you don't even think about it? No. I'm aware. Every single moment I do it. And I'm doing it I'm halfway with you between Mike and Sylvester, because I think people look at me and they're judging me. Imagine going to the grocery store. You're shopping. You're in the produce section. And you see a guy who's an Elvis impersonator. Right away, you're going to size him up. And you're going to say, is the hair dyed? Does he have the right mutton chops? How does he say, thank you very much? How does he do all that?
Right.
Is there an Elvis thing? And the guy's not on. He's not at Legends performing. He's not in the big ballroom of the MGM Grand. He's just shopping, but he's going to have a Elvis look to him because that's what he does for a living, right?
That's what he does, right.
That's what he does. So I think, and my wife just thinks I'm a mental, I have issues here. And she says, nobody is measuring you to that status. And I go, they do. If people find out what I do, they're going to look at me and say, wait, you're the Rocky guy? You 5'10". You're the Rocky guy. Dude, come on. And so that's always in my mind. My mind.
He definitely sounds like Rocky. Trust me. Everyone's saying you sound like Rocky, you look like Rocky. But I think, you know what? You're your own worst critic. I think in everything we do, we are our own worst critic. We're always going to challenge ourselves to be better.
Vinny, thank you for saying that, because I think I think you're correct. You see, it's taken me my whole life to get to this point in my life where I can do my Rocky tours, my Rocky gigs with the Pretender, my book, and all these things. It's taken a very long time. I'm going to be 53 years old this summer. Okay, so it's taken me a lot of hard work to get to this point. I value it, and it's so humbling to me. I always see myself as the 11-year-old kid who got pushed around and beat up through grade school and intermediate in high school. People didn't always get me. So in my mind, I'm that kid that nobody ever got. You know,
which is right here. This is what the cover of your book is based on, right?
Yeah.
I remember you saying that last time. You were stuffed into a locker.
Those lockers right there, those lockers, I was beaten and stuffed into those lockers at West Scranton High School. And it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I had to wait for someone to come by to let me out because you couldn't open them once you were inside. And so it was humiliating and embarrassing. And yeah, I mean, forget about a date to the prom. I mean, I took like a 3rd-degree bag lady. So, I mean, it just wasn't working. I mean, I couldn't get anyone to go with me. And when you discover girls, are you kidding me? Hello. Hello, girls.
And then you eventually found your Adrian.
I did find her. Are you kidding me? I did find her. We were in it was 1989 in West Scranton, bottom of Luzerne Street. There's a Burger King. And I was just driving through on lunch, and there was this beautiful 5'9", blue-eyed, brown-haired girl. Her hair was so huge. She had a can of Aquanet in her purse. I mean, it was just unbelievable. It's insane.
Joey said you look early 40s. He's legitimately shocked that you're gonna be, would you say 50 50 some?
I'll be 53 August 18th.
Yeah. Somebody on Pounding the Meat said 35 he means. Come
35.
On now.
Okay. Right. Wake up next to me in the morning. I'm about 85 between my knees, my lower back, my forearm. I got this thing in my forearms now. It's like, I don't know, it's like severe tendonitis.
What Rocky film are you at in your life right now?
Rocky 5. Rocky 5. That's the truth. It's Rocky 5. That's where I'm at. I swear to God. I'm maybe slightly better off monetarily, but physically I'm Rocky 5.
Is your partner Joe? Is that Tommy Gunn? What's going on?
No, Joe's in much better shape than I am.
Okay.
Joe's got a 6-pack. He's got a 19-inch bicep. Joe is in such peak physical shape. I met Joe. We did a tour together. We did a Rocky tour. And what Joe did, he came to the side of the road. I picked him up at the art museum steps. He started bench pressing a Buick right in front of me just to show me how tough he is. I was like, okay, great. I know where this is going. I ain't got squat.
So not only are you a great Rocky impersonator, but you're so good at it that you've gotten to meet certain people that us Rocky fans wish we could meet, right? It is given you that blessing because what took you to the top was winning the lookalike contest, right?
Changed everything for me.
Changed everything for you, and that won you a spot to watching Rocky Balboa with the cast. Or am I correct here?
Yeah, the grand prize in 2006 at Love Park, City of Philadelphia, ran a national Rocky lookalike contest. I beat out somewhere between 1,800 and 2,000 guys around the country that looked like Rocky. And so December 18th in Philadelphia, 06, my wife and I walked the red carpet. And they put you up for like a weekend there, and it was great. And
man.
You
That's
walk
amazing.
the red carpet. There's Burt Young. There's Geraldine Hughes, who played Little Marie in Rocky Balboa. Oh, here comes Milo Ventimiglia. He's doing interviews for E.T. Here comes Sylvester Stallone and his wife and his girls. They come through. He sees me. He said, does the old punch thing, right?
Yeah.
We go inside. We talk a little bit more. We sit. We go into here's the thing where I get really depressed. All right.
Oh, no.
We go into the theater. And it's a big theater. It's the Prince Theater on Chestnut, I think. And so we go in, and the seat that I had as the winner, it's the last row in the balcony against the brick at the back, all the way in the back.
That's your seat for winning?
And I'm thinking, this totally sucks. This is the worst. And my wife goes to me, she goes, or we could be home on the couch watching like reruns of Remington Steele. She goes, we're here. We're at the premiere. What more do you want? Okay. So that was the first couple of minutes. So I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, this sucks. But I am at a Rocky premiere. Yeah. And all of a sudden, Burt Young, Milo Ventimiglia, Burt Sugar, the guy. Who was the guy in Rocky Balboa that goes, Rocky just said hi to me? He was one of the commentators, and he's an ESPN commentator. He's a younger guy. He's got sandy hair. Anyways, they all sat right in front of me, Burt Young and so on. So now I'm talking with Burt Young. Because it's got like
the row in front of you.
The row in front of me is all
directly in front of you. Wow.
And I'm thinking
that's why they put you there.
They probably knew. So Milo, and Burt Young, we're standing on the steps. There's nowhere to go. So nobody's coming up our aisle. We're not blocking anyone because it's the last 2 rows and they're already filled with everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're standing on the steps. And Burt goes, "Hey, kid, you look like Stallone." And none of them knew why I was there. They just thought I was there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They didn't know why. They don't know. What are they going to know?
Right?
Yeah. So Milo goes, and now I'm affecting a full Stallone with the crooked lip. And Milo goes, "Yeah, you got the lip thing going on like me and Sly. Well, what's that all about?" I don't really know what you're talking about, Milo. I mean, and so we're just going back and forth, and we're having a lot of fun, a lot of jokes. It's really going well. Then everything, we got to sit down. Sly's on stage, and he's telling everyone in the theater that this is a love letter to the fans and everyone of Philadelphia, and that we'll never see Rocky again. This is the last time, he swears. No more Rocky, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm like, okay, it's a swan song. This is great. And then it starts, and Sly doesn't stay. Sly goes to the Victor Cafe that night for dinner. So he's at the Victor's, which is like, 5 blocks away. Right. And here I am with all the stars sitting here, and I would rather be with him. But okay, we're going to watch. And, we're blown away. The movie's incredible. At the end, we're walking out. Okay, we're walking out. And what I had done, I had told Burt Young about my dad, how my dad thought that Burt Young's character as Paulie was the greatest, background player.
Right.
So I'm talking to my dad on my cell phone as we're walking through the lobby, and Burt Young hears me. We're walking shoulder to shoulder, and he goes, "Who are you talking to?" And I go, "It's my father." And he goes, "Let me talk to him. What's his name?" I go, "It's Mike." He goes, "Mike, Burt Young." So my father's like, "Oh my God, brilliant!" So they're talking back and forth. So there's this picture that was in USA Today, and one of the AP photographers takes a picture of me standing there smiling. Bert's got the phone up to his ear talking to my father. My father sees it the next morning, and he calls me up and he goes, "Mike, is that me on the phone that Bert's talking to in this picture?" I go, "Yeah, Dad." So then we go to the art museum, which is where the after party was after the movie.
The same night.
Same night. It's about 15 minutes later. We go over to the art museum. We get in, and now inside is this incredible gala event. And there's Sylvester Stallone in the middle of the floor. Just right there. Just standing there. And there weren't a lot of people there at first. We were one of the first to get there. And so I start talking to him, and he remembers me. He didn't remember my name, but he remembered me at the time. And we're just talking. And now little by little, everybody is gathering. Now I start taking pictures. I'm literally hanging with Sly for about an hour and a half, taking pictures with everybody, right? So we're talking, and Sly's going, I'm hearing all this dialogue, some directed at me, none of it directed at me, whatever. It was great. So then Sly goes to do an interview with local news with his wife. They go walking through the art museum, and I said, okay, I go find my wife. I check in with her, and then I take a lap around, and I see Milo Ventimiglia. And the night before, my niece, Lauren, she says to me, she goes, Max Kellerman. That's the name of the ESPN commentator. Thank you, Max Kellerman. So somebody just wrote that on your site there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want you to think I wasn't going like senile.
No, you're good. Yeah,
okay.
I can see them pop up with you.
Okay, good. So as I'm walking around, here's Milo Ventimiglia. He's got the scarf wrapped around him, Joe Hollywood, and it was really nice. And I'm talking on the phone with my niece. Now, my niece, I don't know, he was in Gilmore Girls or something. He was in some CW TV series that she really liked. And she said, Uncle Mike, if you get a chance, I would love to get Milo's, autograph. And I said, you got it, honey. So how am I going to get that? So I see him, and I'm about to ask him. I had told him that. Oh, that's right. I just remembered. In the movie theater, I had told him about my niece, much she loved him. Yeah.
Okay.
And then something got broken up. I couldn't get an autograph from him at the time, and it was timing or whatever. So he sees me talking on the phone to my niece, and he mouths, who are you talking to? And I said, my niece. And he goes, the one that likes me? And I said, yeah. And he goes, can I talk to her? So I give him I said, Lauren, somebody wants to say hi. And he goes, is this Lauren Hahn? And she goes, yeah. She goes, this is my love Ventimiglia. I play Rocky Jr. and I was in Gilmore Girls or whatever show she liked to be. And you could hear her screaming on the end, right? And there you go. Donna says Gilmore Girls. So he says, he goes, listen, I am going to give your uncle something very special for you. And he signed a napkin, to Lauren, my love Ventimiglia. He goes, I want you to get your uncle something really nice for Christmas because he's become my friend and I want to give this to you. Okay. So he does all this. And then so we hang up and he goes, hey man, he goes, I'd love to talk to you some more. He goes, I got to go back to California. I'm taking the red eye back, blah, blah, blah. I got to go. But hey, best of luck in all that you do. So Milo was super cool. I really liked him.
That's amazing.
So he goes, right? So here's where it starts to get really good. As they come around the corner, there's Burt Young holding court at a corner table off to the side with all these Italian guys.
Oh my goodness.
And I mean, he's okay. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So these are the Philly crew.
Yeah.
So Burt sees me and he starts waving me over.
Oh my goodness.
I go, okay. And he goes, hey, fellas, this guy, tell him what you do. Tell him what you do. So I did the Rocky thing a little bit, and he goes, fellas, give me a few minutes with this guy. So me and Burt are real slow pacing now. We're just it's like, imagine a super slow waltz, and neither guy is touching each other, but we're waltzing around the room, okay?
Yeah.
It's so surreal. Now, I don't know if you've watched The Sopranos. I assume you have.
I have seen a few episodes. I didn't go too deep into it.
Well, my good friend Austin Gomes says right there, Burt Young was fantastic on The Sopranos.
Right.
He played Bobby Bacala's father.
Okay.
Old man Bacala, who Tony calls out for one last hit. And he dies in the episode because in the episode, he has emphysema from smoking and he's always with the inhaler. Okay. So he dies. But Burt Young has this. He has this Pauly exaggerated laugh.
Right.
It's my wife's favorite episode next to Pine Barrens of The Sopranos.
Okay.
So I'm just telling him how my wife loves that episode and that laugh and all of it. And he starts talking to me and he says, do you believe David Chase made me audition for that role? He goes, like, I don't have enough work out there that they couldn't choose and figure out I would be good. He goes, I had to audition. He goes, at my age. He goes, and then they had to whiten my hair. My hair wasn't white enough. They dyed my hair more white to make me look older. Anyways, we have a few more little things. We go back and forth. We shake hands. We take a picture. He goes back to his table, and I'm in La La Land. I can't
imagine how you feel right now.
It's crazy. It really is an orgasmic wet dream type thing. And I know that's a little gross, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Okay, it's the truth. So I go back to the table where my wife is, and we all had some mutual friends that were there that night. And she goes, so how was your night? I go, unbelievable. So fast forward, a bunch of other things happen, not interesting. And then it's closeout. It's like 2:00 in the morning. Stallone has been gone by at least an hour. All the stars are gone, or so I thought. So me and Sue, we're wrapping up. All right, we had a drink. We're wrapping up the night. We're getting ready to go, putting our coats on, and around the corner, because when you go up the Rocky steps and then you walk back past the fountain, up a little flight of steps, and you go in the doors, there's another giant set of steps inside.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know who's the Greek god with the feathers on the ears. Mercury, maybe the god of the messenger.
We'll go with that. God. We'll go with Mercury.
Yeah, I think he's up there, or maybe it's a female. I don't know. If anybody knows, please, let us
comment it.
Yeah, educate us, stupid males. So around the corner comes Burt Young, and he sees me, which with my wife, he has to assume it's my wife.
Sure.
And he starts laughing like Pauly and old man Bacalieri from The Sopranos. And my wife goes, oh, my God, Mr. Bacalieri. And so I introduced him
Made her night.
Made her night. We took some pictures and we talked a little bit, and then that was the end of our night. And then it makes for one of those great stories to just tell over and over.
I got goosebumps just hearing the story. That's incredible. Man.
It was a great journey, but I thought that was going to be the pinnacle of my life. I thought that was going to be the highlight.
You thought that was it?
I had no idea I'd become friends with Sylvester Stallone. I had no idea he would endorse everything I did. I would have no idea he would literally reach out and talk to me weekly. I had no idea.
That's incredible.
To this day, it's crazy.
That's incredible.
It's crazy.
So here you are. Let me show you what it's like. I have a little clip of you meeting Carl Weathers. Here.
Oh yeah, Carl.
Let's check this out.
You guys serious? Right? Man.
You're beautiful,
Man, I appreciate that.
You want it in silver?
Yeah, that'd be great. Just,
Ain't gonna be no rematch.
I love it. Love it. Ain't gonna be no rematch.
All right.
Oh, well, that'd be brilliant.
You didn't know you were gonna get a show today, did you?
Well, I do this all day with you. There's no problem. You could punch me for like $5, $7 for headshots.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, you know, you're not gonna believe this, but today is my birthday, 44 years old.
Is it really today?
Yeah, you screwed up my plans. My family's supposed to take me out tonight for dinner. Now I gotta drive all the way here. Can you believe this? Carl.
I screwed up your plan. Blame it on me.
Can I get a picture?
Come on around here, man. Come on around here.
So
That's all. It seemed like he was having fun with you.
So he was, but what you don't know is what happened right before that.
That's what I wanted to know.
Right.
What the hell got there?
So right over my head, you can see the black and white painting that he signed is right there.
Right.
Sly signed the same painting as well. So, okay. So I got hired it was in Cherry Hill. It was Chiller Theater. Okay. And he was there because he was in Predator. Chiller Theater is a horror movie convention.
For the horror. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he was there. Nobody cared about Predator. He's Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
He's right across the river from Philly. So there was like 600-700 Rocky fans in this room. So I was a door greeter. I got hired as a door greeter as Rocky and to welcome people to come in.
Gotcha.
So after I was done, the owner, the people running it said, "Hey, Mike, we got Carl in the back room here, and people paid like $100 a ticket to go in and get a picture and an autograph. You want to go in and just, I don't know, dance with him a little bit, just kind of whatever." I go, "Does he know?" And he goes, yeah, he'll be in on it. And I go, okay. So on the chance that I was able to get in and say hello to him, I brought the painting, the black and white painting, because I would have loved for him to at least see it, let alone sign it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my dad was with me and my manager was with me, who gets me on my Rocky gigs. And we go through security, down a hallway, through another security, and they let us in. We didn't have to pay anything. And so we're standing at the back of the room, 600 people in this room. I hand the painting to my father, and I say, Carl's signing at the table, and nobody sees me enter. And the room is somewhat loud, and in a big Rocky voice, "Yo, Apollo, I thought you said there weren't going to be no rematch." Right. And so Apollo is signing, right? And he does this. And he goes, Stallion, you got a dull skull, Stallion. Get up here, chump. Let's finish this fight right here, right now.
Nuh-uh.
And I look to my father and I go, "What the hell does that mean?" And he goes, "Son, I think Apollo Creed wants to fight you." So I do the walk, because I had the leather coat on, I had the hat on and all
Fedora, yeah.
the fedora, the cutoff gloves. I go up, I got the southpaw style, and everybody's going, "Oh my God, it's Rocky. Oh my God." I get to the table. Carl Weathers, I'm 5'10". Carl Weathers is about 6'2.5". I don't know if he had big heels on. He was like 7'9". He was just massive.
Yeah.
He comes from around the table. He took his coat off and he just starts turning into Apollo Creed, and he starts banging out these jabs.
No
and they
way.
kept whiffing the brim of my fedora, and I kept saying to myself in my head, "Whatever you do, Mike, don't lean forward because he's gonna break your face." So we're circling, we're sparring, right? And I'm throwing. It's like that scene with Stallone and Muhammad Ali at the Oscars,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Muhammad Ali comes out, and that's exactly how this went down.
And that's exactly how you felt, probably, too.
Exactly
Surprised.
how I felt.
Yeah.
Totally surprised. And after about 45 seconds, I could no longer stay in character of Rocky. I was beside myself, like, oh my God, I'm with Apollo. Oh my God. I was total fanboy. It was ridiculous. So he could see this. And so he takes my hand, he raises me, and he goes, the champion of Philadelphia, the Italian stallion, Rocky Balboa. And he says to the crowd, do you all mind if I sit with him for a moment and just talk with him? They're like, no, go, okay. Because they all
they're loving this.
They're loving this, but they all paid $100. I didn't pay anything, right?
Yeah.
So my father, my manager, they come up and we got him the painting. He signed it. But the first thing he said, we go behind the table, we sit down. The first thing out of Carl's mouth was, does Sly know about you? And I go, yeah. And Sly and I were not close like we are now. Back then, I was just on the radar. Like, if you said Mike Kunda to Sly, he would know. But if you said, hey, there's a guy in Philly that does Rocky gigs.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that
like
guy. Because I wasn't doing tours yet either. I was only doing the gigs. And so it's like, oh, I know there's some guy that's kind of decent with this. He didn't know, Mike Kunda from Scranton, Pennsylvania. So anyways, it was a hell of a birthday, because that was my birthday too on that
There
day.
you go. Man, that was an amazing clip. So let's rate another impersonator.
Yeah, what do you got?
Now, this one's pretty good. I like this one. Now, this guy's a comic as well, but he threw it into his stand-up. Check this out.
Gotcha.
Magical. Remember that scene in Rocky 3 when he loses the club of Lang the first time? He goes back into the locker room and Mickey's laying on that cot. He's got that blanket over his chest. He's on his last breath. He's like, Sora. Stallone starts crying. Mick! Mick! Yeah, Mick. I got one more to do, Mick. Hey, what do? You ever notice in the Rocky movies, whenever he starts out normal, you can understand him, but the more emotional he gets, he fucking lose you? Like, remember that scene in Rocky 3 when he's standing on the beach and he's all stressed and disheveled, and Adrian's like, Rocky, what's wrong? He's like, hey, yo, Adrian. Hey, I don't want it no more. What are you talking about? And when I first got in the ring, I didn't care what happened to me. I didn't care. But now as a kid, I want to lose what I got. What are you paying to, Adrian? I try to turn a baby down and never pay.
That's pretty good. Listen, I'm going to give this one contender, not Rocky. I'm going to give it contender. That's me.
All right. So there's something about his look that wasn't exactly identical to Rocky.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what it was, but it wasn't exactly an identical look. What I will give him an Eye of the Tiger. All right. I will give him an Eye of the Tiger for the scene where Mickey dies in Rocky 3. He had it. We got more to do, man.
The cry was pretty good. The cry was on point. If you would have looked away and heard that, you would have been like, Rocky. The movie's on. Yeah. That's how good the cry was.
He was good. He was really, really good. He lost me with the beach. He lost me at the beach. Wasn't very good. Wasn't accurate. However, I will give him 15 rounds. I will give him going the distance for his comedy.
All right. Good. The comedy was funny. All right. So here's another bit that you did. This is from Rocky 2. When Gazzo comes in and Rocky's working at the gym. One of my favorite scenes. Yeah, one of my favorite scenes. Check this out.
Yo, Rock.
Yo, Tony. How you doing?
How am I doing? No, how are you doing? I heard you're working in this dump. What are you doing? Give it to me straight, Rock.
I'm sweeping up, making a few bucks here and there, You ain't no janitor, Rock. You don't need a job like this. Besides, you're Italian. Now you come back and work for me. Well, what have you doing, like collecting or something?
What else? Look, you come back, you work on the docks, get some fresh air. It stinks in here.
Yo, Tony, I appreciate the offer, but I can't do that stuff no more.
It's healthier. Look, I gotta go. Take it easy, champ.
Yeah, see you around.
Remember that guy, Rock?
I like how you threw your pretender poster in place. That was good. That was good.
Yeah,
was good.
it was. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. That was me, by the way, playing both roles. In case anyone didn't.
No
know.
way. Get out of
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, no. That was
You
me.
didn't hire anybody?
Nope, just me.
Wow.
I know.
You fooled me.
I
You
was
fooled me.
lost. I was lost in the roles. No one knew, but I played Gazzo too.
So we're Stallone fans. We know Stallone ain't done working.
Right.
He's a workaholic, right?
Totally.
We got this coming. What is this? A Samaritan. Samaritan.
I have never been this excited about a movie.
Yes.
I really have not. I mean, to me, this is just going to be an epic movie. So he's a superhero who no longer wants to be a superhero. He basically lives on the streets. He's homeless, and this boy goes to find him, and he has to do a school paper on him, and one thing leads to another, and Samaritan is called back to duty one last time.
Looks like he's in the middle of some action here. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Some thugs, you know.
I've always wanted Sly to do a superhero movie, and he auditioned for Superman, but he was too short. You know, right. Superman 6'3", and so Stallone's 5'10". And I remember, Stallone tells this funny story. He tells Richard Donner, he goes, "Well, Superman can hover. Why don't I just hover throughout the whole movie? I don't know what. I'll hover at 6'3". What's the difference?" And so, it's stuff like that I think Sly pokes a little fun at himself, but this is going to be incredible. I really have a lot of hope for it. And the funny thing about this is Sly would message me from the set, so I will put stuff up on Instagram, and he loved it. And it's always Rocky related. I always put these stories or these pictures or videos on my Instagram, and he follows me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And so what he does is he comments usually once or twice a week. And I remember all through the filming of Samaritan, he was commenting in between shots, and I'm like, this is so crazy.
Think about that. Think about
crazy.
That. He's probably done shooting a scene. He's on
Where he
Instagram.
saves the day.
What's Mike doing? Let me see what Mike's doing.
That's exactly what's he doing.
Man.
Just the other day, last week, I posted something funny about my hair. My wife, she's been cutting my hair for the last 30 years. And so,
you were talking about Rambo, right? You were saying you're at the Rambo hair stage.
It was so long.
Yeah.
Now, if anyone has seen my movie, The Pretender, on Amazon Prime by Jim Toscano, you'll know there's a scene in there where we specifically talk about hair. And my whole life, I tried to get my hair to resemble Sly's, and how I had gotten perms and I had used curling irons. I had done a whole bunch of things. And then all of a sudden, my hair started growing in thick and wavy. Okay. So my whole life up to that point, I was like 15 at the time or 16, was all about Sly's hair. Here, Sly is commenting on my hair on my Instagram. It really is one of those things in your mind. You're like,
full circle, man.
Full circle. And again, Vinny, I really hope you and your listeners understand. I know Sylvester Stallone he's not a deity. He's not a god. He's a guy who wakes up every morning. He's got bad breath, messy hair, and he's got to take a crap like the rest of us. But it's Rocky and Rambo. He's a guy who's an actor and a writer, very good, very skilled, very talented, and he did something with his storytelling abilities. I know when I'm around him, I don't get all flustered like like he's the Beatles or something. But
Yeah.
but there is that thing in your mind. It's like, Jesus, Cliffhanger, The Expendables, Cobra, Rocky, Rambo,
Nighthawks,
Paradise
Nighthawks.
Alley, There's the Flatbush, Fist.
Yes.
All these, it does hit you. And so you do have to have an air of chill. You have to be like,
I always thought about
that's
this,
cool.
Mike. I thought about this because I remember I told you a couple years ago I was supposed to meet him, and he had to cancel because it was he was doing a thing for the Rambo movie, the new Rambo movie,
right?
And I wasn't sure what was going to happen. That's how scared I was. I was like, listen, I gotta be cool. I'll probably only have 30 seconds,
right?
Because there's going to be a huge line of people.
Yeah.
To this day, I don't know if I'd cry. I don't know if I'd faint.
Yeah.
I have no clue because he's on another level of like idol for me. You know what I'm saying?
Vinny, here's the thing. If you ever get the opportunity to meet him, he's really aware of all that. He understands the perception that people have and how his personality can affect people. So what I'm getting at is, if you give him something to work with, if you can stay moderately normal, you could freak out a little tiny bit.
Not too much. Not too much.
No, not too much.
Yeah.
But if you just stay kind of cool, Sly will work with you. And when you're out here, he will bring you back in seconds and get you centered. He'll have you talking about yourself, and you'll forget you're talking to one of the biggest icons on the planet. And that's
incredible.
This is exactly what happened with me and him. Exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, after I first met him and had a 20-minute conversation, I remember breaking down and crying to my wife and all these things, because it's this unbelievable. You see it in the movie, you romanticize it. It's this character that you have patterned a great deal of your own philosophy after.
Right.
Not Sylvester Stallone. And this is important. People understand this. It's not Sylvester Stallone that I've idolized. I've respected that. I like the guy. It's the character of Rocky and that philosophy that the character brings to life. That is what I latched onto, because you should never put people up on a pedestal. But Rocky is an idea. He is a philosophy of becoming better than what you are. And that's my belief.
All right. So we got one more here for you.
Yeah.
One more impression.
All right.
And let's see what you think. Here we go.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not be pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anyone. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
David Anthony, a good friend of mine.
Oh, so you know the guy here. You know the guy.
Oh, of course I do.
That's pretty good, though. That might get one of these. What do you think? What do you think?
David Anthony, as far as the voice goes, is the best.
On point. On point.
The best. Trust me, David and I spoke for about 3 or 4 years. We'd call each other once a week, and we just start doing voices and whatnot. He does a great Arnold, and he does a Pesci and a De Niro and a Pacino.
Oh my goodness,
he's fantastic. Now, he doesn't look like these characters, but in that moment, when you watch David's mouth, he is so bought into the character of Rocky. It's incredible. And he's got this great story between him and Bridget Nielsen. He had spoke with Bridget. He's a Long Island guy, and so he met Bridget Nielsen, and it's a whole long thing, and they talked about Sly. But David is absolutely fantastic. I begged David to go on voice auditions because he's so strong. I told him, I said, okay, you might not look like Rocky. I said, but you got that voice, and that can carry over into so many different ways. For whatever reason, he didn't do it. I mean, I don't know why he didn't, but
his voice was on point. If you
Oh,
close
yeah.
your eyes, some of those points where he would like get into it and scream sound just like him.
Oh, totally. I mean, I would give him a pound of meat times 10. I mean,
Oh, that's a good. Hey. So, out of all three, you think he's the winner? He's
That's
the winner.
it.
Out
Oh,
of the
David, by far, David.
Okay, so we got it, champ. Now, we got a couple minutes, and this is something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
We've read articles. Rocky 7 confirmed. You know, Stallone says he's writing Rocky 7, writing and starring. And now we're not too sure if the movie's going to be made, but we got a little piece of what it could be.
Right.
Where Stallone is the character Rocky. He's older, of course. And there's some foreigner who he takes under his wing and starts training him how to fight. Yeah. Which is kind of like Creed and Rocky 5 put together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it necessary?
No. So here's what I will say. So you have to look at it from a few different points of view. So I asked Sly directly about this, and he told me, no, Rocky 7 is not happening. The machinery in Hollywood will not allow it. Earl Winkler has a problem with this and will not allow it to go forward since they own the rights. Sylvester doesn't own anything.
Right.
He owns nothing. So anyways, he wrote about 80 plus pages, maybe 90 pages of a Rocky 7 script. And the concept was under the former administration, a undocumented immigrant is in the country and Rocky's training him, and he gets booted out of the country because of certain policies and procedures that were once intact under the previous administration. And Rocky has to go to Mexico and does all this training there with this fighter. And it was, I don't know. This is not, I am now going off record with Sly, and I'm now going on speculation. I don't know how much of it, how political he was going to get. I hoped he wasn't going to get too political because Rocky, even though Rocky 4 is somewhat political, it's really more jingoistic. Yeah, with the Cold War, Russia, and all of that, but it's really more jingoistic.
Right.
This I felt was a little too close to the vest. I thought it would alienate whether you were pro or against the previous administration. That's going to go against the movie.
Right.
So you're either going to like what the message is or you're not going to like what it is. And I thought, Jesus, Rocky was never about alienating any side. It was about bringing everybody together. Then I saw it from Sly's point of view. And I thought, well, if I'm Sylvester Stallone, I don't care what anybody thinks. I've had my career. I've done what I want to do. This is what I want to say. I want to say this in my way. This is my statement on society right now. And Sly has that right. And if he was cool with potentially alienating people, okay. And I don't know how much of that played a role in the decision to not move Rocky 7 forward. Having said all that, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. You never know what deal they're going to get down to. Sly said he wouldn't be in Creed 3. They offer him enough money, maybe he will be. Maybe Sly will have some type of change of heart where he would like to be in Creed 3 to guide the character one more step. If he's not in it, maybe they'll kill Rocky off and we don't even see Rocky die. It's just a phone call. Adonis gets a phone call.
That would break my heart.
And I'm only supposing. This is no inside information.
No, but that would break my heart.
Oh, will kill me too.
Oh my God.
Will kill me too. Will kill me too. But so that's where we're at with Rocky 7. And I don't know that we need it. I want to see anything he does as Rocky. Always.
Sure. Yeah.
Do we need it? I don't know. I probably not, but I don't know.
This is a good statement here for you. Mike, I'm losing faith in the Rocky 4 director's cut coming out. And you know what? To a certain degree, I agree with him.
Yeah.
him removing the robot completely. Right?
Well,
I get why, but is it
Yeah.
really going to make the movie that more serious?
yeah. Well,
I
okay.
mean-
So again, you're talking to a guy who thinks Rocky IV is the worst of all the Rockies. Right?
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
here's
oh,
the thing. I thought I'll tell you this. They made figures of this robot, and I got.
I know.
They
I
made
know.
the little. You got it too, probably.
I got it over on my wall hanging.
There was a charm about this robot, and it showed the stupidity of Paulie at the same time. It was a funny moment. You know, it was cute. But
I
for
get
real, remove it completely.
Yeah, because Sly knows. He knows Rocky IV is so far removed from Rocky 1, Rocky 2. It's just not it's not I don't know. It was more influenced by the time versus I think Stallone's I have to be very, very careful in my words and what I choose here. So I have to say, I love Rocky IV. I do, but it is my least favorite of all the Rockies. I take Rocky V over Rocky IV anytime because of the hat, the coat, and it's in Philadelphia. Rocky IV.
I could see that. Okay.
When you look at Rocky IV, you don't see Rocky 1. There's nothing there of Rocky. It's literally Sylvester Stallone wearing Rocky's clothes. When Rocky goes into the ring to fight Drago, he's flexing. He's flexing the chest muscles, the abdominals. Rocky would never do something like that. When Rocky is on the mountain and he's training in Siberia, Drago. How's he get back? How's he get back?
We've always talked about that. How does he? I mean, you saw a cliffhanger. You know how he gets back. Right?
He just climbs back down. Maybe the robot shows up. But the thing, the robot shows up with propellers, and he holds on to the robot. Oh, Rocco, get on there, Rocco. Take it. But for me, I think Sylvester wants this to be a much more soulful Rocky. I think through wisdom and experience, he sees the robot it's kind of lame. It's kind of stupid. It shows what you can do with money when you're the champ. You can waste money on Lamborghini.
That's what I thought. That's
sure.
what I thought. Yeah.
And that's what it is. You waste money on silly things. Now, I told you the reason why the robot was there to begin with, right?
No, you never told me the reason.
Sylvester's youngest son, Sergio, is autistic. And the scientist who created the robot, he built the robot for children with autism. For some reason, children identified with this robot better than their own parents.
So was that a real robot? Or that's
a real robot? I just worked with the robot last November 19th, right before COVID. I had a Rocky gig in Philadelphia. It was a trade show. So you've got about 8,000 people on the trade floor, and you have the little booths with the tables and the cloths all around, and they're selling everything. And it was like an educational type of thing. And the Rocky IV robot was there.
Get the hell out of here.
So they brought me over. I'm in the hat and the coat, and here's the Rocky IV robot. And the son, the guy who made it, his son is controlling the robot, and he's moving the head, and it's talking, and it was great. I got video of him, pictures. It's fantastic. And but again, the robot had a significant purpose. And Sly thought, my kid's got autism. Other kids have autism. If I can put it in the movie and get it out there, maybe this robot can help other people. And it was the 80s, right? So in 1985, when Rocky IV comes out, everything is bigger than life. The hair was bigger. The muscles were bigger, more cut.
The muscles were bigger. Yeah.
Right? Everything. More lean, more cut, more defined, whatever. So everything was maxed out. So I get it. I do. But when you look back, if any, Rocky V needs to be recut too. But Rocky IV can now be more in vein with Rocky 1 and Rocky 2. Now, if anybody has any problems with that, if they miss the robot,
go back to the old one.
Go back to the old one. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But guys like me who are dinosaurs and we like the old stuff, we like the original stuff, Rocky with the hat and the coat, this is going to bring us closer. And Stallone's going to be bringing in the Conti music for Rocky 4. Which,
interesting.
Yeah, there's a side story, which I don't have all my facts on it, so I won't say too much. But Sly and Bill Conti had a difference of opinion, which is one of the reasons that contributed to the two of them not working together in Rocky 4. And which
the Rocky 4 soundtrack is known as one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, of film history.
Well, for some people, but whatever.
I'm gonna tell you. Every song is what they call a bop now. It's a bop. It's a hit. Every song on that soundtrack is a hit. It's a smash.
It is good stuff, and I love No
Shit
Easy
gets you
Way
hype,
Out.
Mike. It gets you hype.
It does. No Easy Way Out. I used to have a 1988 Dodge Daytona, and I used to drive. I would take Sue home, like when we were dating. I would get in the car like
same song
2 o'clock in the morning, and it was a cassette. I had the Rocky 4 cassette playing, right? And so I would put it in No Easy Way Out. It had the pop-up headlights, just like the Jalpa Lamborghini, right? And so and it was a stick shift, and I'd be driving her home to Music. It was a little town about 7 miles down the line, and it was great. I drive through like the streets of Scranton at 2 o'clock in the morning listening to No Easy Way Out. Yep. It was fantastic. It really was.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it was a beautiful soundtrack. But go ahead. What do you think?
But there's something about that Bill Conti music, that lonely, sad music that just breaks your heart, that you just can't help but be addicted to. When Gazzo gets done yelling at Rock, and Rocky yells, "I should have broke your thumb," to Buddy the driver, and as Rocky walks up that long brick sidewalk along the wrought iron fence, we hear that lonely Conti theme, and it shakes you to your core. When Rocky gets up early in the morning, drinks the raw eggs, Philadelphia Morning is playing, he stretches out on his brick row house and he runs down the road slow. You could just feel the aches in his body. And it's that soulful music.
I think that's because where he was in his career, though, in his life, right? Now,
True.
I could see where they could place it in this film. Possibly at the funeral of Creed. You could throw maybe some of that in there, but where else are they going to put it?
I don't know. I'm trying to, as much as I know and hear and see about it, I'm trying to not get overly focused on it. I'm trying to just because I want to be surprised. So to the person that originally asked, is it ever going to be released? It will be released. I do believe it will be released.
He's working on it. He's playing.
He thought he was done 2 months ago, and then for some reason late last month, he said, "I'm going back to California. I'm going to work on," because he lives in Florida now. And he said, "I'm going to go back and I'm going to work on it, and we're going to see how far we can get with it." There's going to be a lot of red tape. Why I don't know, but studio is involved. When it was supposed to be released for November? So we knew November 2020. So maybe November 2021. I don't know. I would prefer 2021 November because it can go back into theaters. I'm hoping everybody will be healthier. Everybody have their shots by then.
That'd be fantastic.
Could you imagine that? Oh, what a better way to kick COVID out and ring in 2022 by Rocky 4
in the theater.
In the theater in 2021. It came out in 1985. You kidding?
I'll go fully decked out. I don't give a shit. I'll go with the gloves. I heard they're going to get rid of the exploding gloves in the beginning.
I heard that too.
And they're going to go classic. The classic.
You know what we'll have to do? You and I'll drive out to where you are. We'll both wear our Sly Stallone shop fedoras.
Oh,
and
let's
we'll put it
do
on.
it.
We'll just go in, leather coats, cut off gloves, and we'll just act like Rocky. And
I'll go to Philly with you.
Why not?
It's probably more acceptable. There's Philly.
There's more mental people in Philly, I think. And we'll just do it. That's it. People think we're mental patients, but that's okay. We'll go. We'll get like a tub of popcorn, and we'll just yo, Adrian, yo, Paulie, Paulie.
It's a date, Mike. But Mike, thank you so much. I always have a blast when you're on here, man.
Man, me too.
I could talk honestly, bro. I could talk Rocky for hours.
I know. I got so many more stories too. I told 3 stories. I've got like 90. You know what I mean? I love it.
And that's why I called this one round 2. How many rounds were in the first Rocky?
Yeah, 15.
That's how many
15.
rounds it's going to take for us to get through all
Seriously.
your stories. You know
I
what I'm saying?
Because we go down a path that just we talk on one subject for 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden an hour's gone. It's like, well, all right, time to go.
Yeah. I always know that it's not going to be an hour with Mike. It can't be because I'm too invested in what he's saying.
I know.
I'm too interested.
I have
you know?
so much fun, man.
But a lot of people that watch the show love Rocky too, and Stallone, and it's a great crowd of people here that love the story and the character. Mike, thank you again. Thanks for showing me, your book there. Your book's beautiful.
I love it, man.
Book's beautiful. We are going to have you for a round 3.
We got it. We got to talk about the Slice Stallone shop and all that offer.
There's
for
a lot of
fans.
shit.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot coming out, and I'll have my fedora by then.
Good. Yeah, we'll be Fedora brothers.
We'll wear the fedoras for a little bit, and I got the Rocky 4 gloves. I got a lot of stuff. I love that place. I could spend a fortune there. But
I know. We have. Vinny, thank you so much, my friend.
Bro.
I really appreciate everything.
Mike, this is Mike Kunda. I'm Vinny Vegas. Guys, you have a great night, and I will see you next week. Good night.
Keep playing.